Good evening, everyone. We begin tonight with one of our station's main initiatives, Project Drive Sober. It's our goal to save lives and make Wisconsin roads safer. This is the only state in the country where a first OWI offense is not a crime. The question is why. Tonight, Katie Crowther goes 360, taking a look at the story from all sides.
State leaders, advocates, and families have been pushing to make a first-time OWI offense a crime here. Many think it would be a no-brainer, but it remains a very tough sell.
Naturally good Pabst.
Pabst, Schlitz, Miller, and Blatz.
Milwaukee, finest beer.
Milwaukee was born out of beer, and it's still a big part of our identity. Heck, our baseball team is the Brewers. But has our alcohol-rich past contributed to a risky future? 1 out of every 10 Wisconsin residents has been convicted of at least one OWI, and our state is one of the worst for both binge drinking and alcohol-related crashes. Would criminalizing a first drunk driving offense help? Let's go in 360. We'll talk to lawmakers and district attorneys, a recovering drunk driver, and a family directly affected. In that wreckage, Paul and Judy Jenkins of Oconomowoc lost their world. Their daughter, Jennifer, was just one of the victims.
She was killed, as well as her unborn child. Our 10-year-old granddaughter was killed.
They were hit by an impaired driver who's now in prison. In the 10 years since that crash, they say not enough has changed.
The frustration of not getting the laws passed, the frustration of not even hearing about them being discussed.
Their state representative, Jim Ott, made a promise to them to toughen drunk driving laws. With Senator Alberta Darling, he just reintroduced a bill that would make a first OWI offense a crime, punishable by up to $500, 30 days in jail, and/or 2 years of probation. But if that driver goes 5 years without reoffending, the criminal conviction is removed from their record. 7 years ago, an almost identical bill never gained enough support.
Too many people think that, going out for a fish fry and having a couple beers could put them in a situation where they might get arrested for drunk driving. And so, do we really want to make it a criminal offense? To say, well, I don't want it to be criminalized because it might happen to me. It doesn't have to happen to you. No one has to get behind the wheel impaired.
State Senator Van Wangard, a former police officer, is chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, which decides the bills that make it to a vote.
I am not in favor and would not vote to support the bill. If it's a first offender, we don't want to destroy their life over one bad choice. Maybe they had one drink too many and they're .08 and they decide to drive home from a wedding. So now that individual is going to have a felony or a criminal offense listed on their record.
Sheboygan County's district attorney, while not against the bill, says criminalizing a first offense OWI isn't going to solve the bigger problem, which is how many people before they choose to drink and drive are actually thinking of all that could go wrong.
The legislature finds more laws and more crimes to fit in every year. Does the fact that there's a law or more of a crime really make a change? We got to get a cultural change.
The DA in Ozaukee County warns that making a first OWI a crime will increase the workload for already strained courts and jails.
It's probably in my office going to mean something to the tune of 300 to 500 additional cases. That's close to one more full-time person. My office is already understaffed by about 50%.
Even so, he believes the bill should pass.
You don't run from work that has to get done. And if we think about what is the primary core function of government, it's to protect people.
Back in 2013, state agencies estimated it would cost more than $5 million to hire enough prosecutors and public defenders to handle the influx of new court cases from criminalizing first offense OWI. And the Wisconsin Department of Corrections estimates it would require an additional 22 employees and cost them nearly $2.6 million just in the first year. Representative Jim Ott believes that's overestimating and that passing his bill to increase punishment for a first drunk driving offense would eventually reduce the number of people offending, saving our state money. So what do people think who've gotten an OWI? Sherry Knoll, a recovering alcoholic turned substance abuse counselor, believes from experience that a tougher penalty for a first offense could make a significant change.
Maybe I would have got help sooner. The first OWI in Wisconsin is this. And then I'll have people after the second one, they go, well, if the consequences would have been this stiff for my first, I might not have had a second. And that's pretty powerful.
Especially, she says, since the average drunk driver gets caught only 1 out of 100 times driving impaired. Committee chairs decide if the bill will get a public hearing. At that time, the public is invited to Madison to speak in front of lawmakers for or against the bill. The hearing is expected to happen next month. Katie Crowther, today's TMJ4.